So I've been playing around with an MIB3 unit for the past couple days. I just want to document my progress. It's kind of an unknown radio unit, but here it is in my Mark 7 Sport Wagon. And here it is sitting in the glove box. So you're going to lose your SD card and your CD player. You're also going to have to swap out the USB port. I haven't done that yet. So this USB port does nothing. The aux port, it's disabled encoding. I haven't tried it. But my Carplay is wireless, which is great. So this is the Carplay screen, and the MIB3 also has a swipe down from the top. So mute button, the panel lighting, this doesn't do anything. So I don't know if that's just more coding I have to do. Guidance home is navigation. Sound is just by the same as clicking the sound button here. Let's see. I haven't figured out how to make it a sport wagon in the display yet, so still just a Golf. And let's see here. So the sport display is something I'm still trying to figure out. So right now, all I've got is the vehicle status. It has the gesture control too when it works, so it's a fun gimmick. I tried the oil level. Obviously, this car doesn't have an oil level sensor, but cool that you can get it to pop up anyways. And on the oil level, you also get your service interval to pop up. And on media, looks the same. There's internet radio. I haven't been able to get any of the internet functions working, so I don't know. I'm assuming there's some sort of other module, but if you go to the CarNet, setup CarNet, I haven't waited too long on this, but it always just sits in, says loading, so I'm assuming there's some separate LTE module that's supposed to be in this car. Not sure if that's something you could add and it would communicate over CAN bus, or if it's Ethernet controlled. And one of the things about the Ethernet control is you're never going to be able to have a digital cluster, a Mark 7 digital cluster, or a Fender audio amp, because it communicates over Ethernet instead of the optical like it used to. So in a Mark 7 car with Fender audio and the digital cluster, you would have an optical most line running to the cluster and down to the amp under the seat. So none of that. If you have Fender audio in your car, this isn't going to work. If you have a digital cluster, this isn't going to work. If you're planning to do a digital cluster, you could go with the Chinese one or just not do that. As for cluster controls, navigation I enabled on the cluster. I messed around a little bit with the coding on the unit, but I wasn't able to get that to work. Navigation's not working either. This is just in the middle of nowhere. I don't have a GPS antenna. This is an S car, so it didn't come with GPS antenna. I don't even have the Sirius XM antenna plugged in. This being a 2018, it had everything here. It didn't even have the glove box unit, so everything's quite a bit different now. So I may buy an antenna, but I don't even know if there's a place to plug in the antenna there. So the navigation's still something I'm trying to figure out. In order to get the red theme, you have to enable ambient lighting in the central electric module, and then you can program in your own colors. So I just have red and black right now. And the black's actually kind of nice because it just kind of turns off that line completely. But I enjoy having the red GTI line. And I also have the boot up screen. It says GTI, so that's another thing that can be coded in right now. So those are honestly the most important things for me, was having the red line, having the GTI startup screen, and the wireless CarPlay works great right out of the box. The assist systems, I've turned most of them off. I can't figure out the coding there. I haven't really tried. That's not a big deal for me. Yeah, that's most of what's been going on. The climate control, the Climatronic works. Just worked right out of the box. No coding needed for that. And it works. So, see it updating there. The radio worked fine. The Bluetooth works good. So yeah, really what I have left to do is I'd love to get the sport gauges. I know that's possible, so that's on my list of things. And I'm also just curious to get the navigation working. More importantly would be getting the CarPlay navigation to show up on the cluster, if that's possible. So when you have a turn coming up, when you're on CarPlay on modern cars, like the 2024 Taos that this came from, it would show up on the digital cluster there. But there may be a chance I could get it working on here. Another weird thing I noticed is the volume controls on the steering wheel. They don't, it doesn't show up on the display anymore. And also audio, I broke that. The audio worked totally fine, even when in CarPlay you could see what song was playing, but I broke that, so something in coding I messed up. Who knows where? Probably will never fix that. Yeah, it's one of the things I noticed right off the bat is it's super snappy. The performance is incredible, and I don't know if it comes across on video, but everything is just super smooth, especially like when you have it like flipping around. It's just, everything is, you know, running at 60 frames a second. It looks great. So super snappy. Not like the old one is slow, but just something I realized this is a really good performing unit, and for the price they can be had at, it's like, why not just upgrade? It's basically the price of a Bluetooth module. So in order to get around component protection, you buy an EEPROM programmer, take the unit apart, change some stuff around. It's pretty easy once you get the connection done and find the right software, and then it just works. And really minimal coding, especially if you don't care about all the errors that pop up. But yeah, I just want to figure out the sport display, and then I feel like these are like pretty reasonable upgrades. I mean, even without the sport display, it's like, you know, the boost gauge doesn't even really tell you anything. The coolant gauge is always locked at, what, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's basically just an oil temp gauge, which I already have in the cluster. It's just like a fun gimmick. I just kind of wanted everything to work the same as the MIB3 did. But yeah, I have to figure out the vehicle variants. I'm still trying to work on that. But this is like a good upgrade for a lot more people than just the MIB2 swap. So I can see people with 2018 to 2020 Atlases and Tiguan's wanting to upgrade for wireless CarPlay. I can see 2018 to 2021 Mark 7 Golf owners, GTI owners, Golf R owners wanting the CarPlay. So there's a big market for people that will want these, and they're super cheap right now on eBay. You just have to be careful because a lot of them look the same. A lot of them will be listed as a Taos. The first one I ordered was listed for a Taos, but actually came out of an ID4. So you have to make sure the unit you're ordering from an Atlas, a Tiguan, a Taos, or I think the Arteon as well. So those are the units you got to keep your eyes out for. But yeah, I think I paid like $80 for this unit shipped, which is crazy. And yeah, I'm planning on unlocking them and throwing them on my website and seeing what happens. So I'll link my website down below, and I will list those up. And I may make a tutorial video on how to unlock it yourself as well. It's pretty straightforward. There's no information online in terms of tutorials, but on MIB Solution, there is a folder you can download that has a PDF with the instructions on it and tells you what, you just buy the cheapest EEPROM programmer, and it's pretty basic. So, and you just need a Phillips head screwdriver and radio keys. You can throw it in, and then quite a bit of coding too. So I wasn't able to get it to code with VCDS on my bench or in the car. Actually, VCDS wouldn't code it in the car, and on ODIS it was being kind of weird, but OBDELEVEN was able to code it just fine. So if you have OBDELEVEN Pro, you'd be able to code just the splash screen really. And then you also have to enable I actually didn't have to enable the ambient lighting. It was already on. It's already coded. So I just had to code my central electric module to add these colors in. Because I had turned the ambient lighting on for the door strips, even though the controls don't work. So, but my Mark 7.5 GTI had the door strips and it didn't have this menu, so probably fine. Anyways, just wanted to kind of update everyone on this new solution for wireless CarPlay that works pretty good. So if you're interested, take a look at my link. I may put them up for like a pre-order. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I want to get them rolling out, especially when ODIS doesn't work, because that's my main way of coding inside instead of in the car. So got a couple things to figure out, but I think they are pretty ready for just a normal consumer to throw in their car and use. It's not like you're making any sacrifices really, unless if you're like downgrading from navigation. but most people aren't going to be doing that. So